Hello everyone. Welcome back to Techno Space. In today's tutorial, we'll be creating a sleek and modern to-do list app using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This is a beginner-level project, so we will not discuss the database and storage part. Rest assured foolproof. Follow along for the complete project. I'll start with basic HTML format and keep on with the main container. Make a div element with ID. To-do container, and inside it put the heading and h1 tags. Then place an alt tag with ID to-do list. This will hold the list items. Make another div element below and give it an ID new task. I'll make one input element with ID task input and a button inside this div element. Make sure you spell the ID names correctly and trust me, it will help. Let's do some styling after completing the HTML part. As obvious, I'll start with the body tag. I'll give it a sans serif font, maybe Arial or Helvetica. Choose according to your style and remove any margin. Then set the flex display property with center justified content and center aligned item. Next, give the body full 100 virtual height. This height is essential to center align the to-do container. Now, I'll make the background little dark. If you want to keep it light, then just change the colors here. I'll also link the working version in description, have a look. Now style the to-do container. Starting with full width. Limited to maybe 400 pixels. Add 20 pixel padding and a dark background. Also give it a semi-transparent black box shadow with border radius of 8 pixels. We can add more styles to decorate this container, but this is enough and looking good for now. Feel free to make changes. Style to-do list ID with no padding. Also make the list style property none to hide the prefix bullets from list elements. Next, I'll style the task input element. It will have flex 1 for max coverage, 8 pixel padding, 1 pixel solid border with 5 pixel radius. Give a 10 pixel margin to its right and then set the color and background. I'll use an inverse color set here, that is, a light background on dark front font color. Look at the new task div. It contains both input and the button. We have already styled the input. Now it's time for the button. Give the button a light blue background color and white front color. Remove any border with property value none. And give it a radius of 5 pixel, also add 8 pixel vertical and 12 pixel horizontal padding to this button element. Now provide it a pointer cursor and add a transition to background color with ease evaluating in 0.3 seconds. Next, add some hover style to this button. I want it to look a little darker on hover. So I will put background color property with a slightly dark color value. Now look out the effect on hover in the browser. At this point, I noticed that we haven't styled the actual new task div. I have given its child a flex property, but it will only work if the parent has display set to flex. So let's fix that. Add display flex and margin top to 20 pixels. Now focus on the JavaScript section. Make an external JS file or write as I do. I'll start with assigning a DOM load event handler that will call the load task function every time the page loads. In the load task function, make a constant name task list. It will hold the reference of to-do list element. Next, add another constant called task. Using the local browser storage, get items from stored variable task. After this, check if the constant task has some value, then append the value in the inner HTML of to-do list. Next, write the code for save task function. It will mostly have the same code for referencing to-do list element. Then in task constant, put the inner HTML of to-do list. In the next line, I am using the local storage to set the value of task constant in the browser. Next, I will write the code for remove task function. Here also, we get reference to the to-do list. This function will take the button element as a parameter, so I'll use the parent node of this button to identify the item we want to remove from the list. It is not the ideal way to do this task, yet it works fine in our case. Maybe I'll show better option in future videos. Finally, don't forget to save the task for persistence, else it will not be removed from storage. The final function in our project is the add task function. It is the main function that will be called from the add button in HTML. Follow carefully and try to avoid the mistake I did while writing this code. The function starts with a reference to the task input element. Get its value by trimming blanks from both ends. Save it in a constant called task text. Now check if task text has some value. If it's empty, then break the function call. You can place some message to alert the users about this issue. Or put some elaborate checks for input values like minimum maximum character length. I'll leave it as is for you to do yourself. Moving forward, we have the task list constant that references the to-do list. Make another constant called task element. I will create list element and store it in the task element constant. It is the main display item for our to-do list app. Next, add class name task to this list element. Also add an input checkbox, span to display the task text and button to remove the item. This button will have the remove task function as event call and click event. Note that I have placed the type button in the button element. Unfortunately, I missed the ending quotations and it really made me scratch my head. This is why I always say to pay deep attention while writing JavaScript codes. It is a silly mistake, yet took me a while to figure out the cause. Finally, end the function code by appending this task element as a child to the to-do list element. Then save the task and empty the input to avoid resubmit. Next, give some style to the task class. Each list item will have this class. So give it a flex display property, justify its content as space between, and then align items to the center. Also give it 1 pixel solid dark border with 10 pixel vertical padding. End the styling with a transition of background color. Next, set background color property for the hover effect of task class. It will make the list item a little dark on hover. Oh, I forgot to put the add task function call in the add button. Let me fix it first, then continue. This is the point where I got stuck for a while to figure out that my remove button is not working, only for a missing quotation mark. How silly is that? Coming back to the CSS part, let's add some more style, then proceed debugging. After the task hover part, put 10 pixel right margin to the input checkbox, using selectors in CSS. I was still confused at this moment. As you can see, me tried to find what is the issue. I haven't removed this clip as it is important to know that facing problems and debugging is very essential day-to-day part of every programmer. We all face errors and many of those are such silly ones. Don't worry, it is a part of learning. Now back to CSS, give some style to the remove button inside task list. I'll make the background little red and text white. Then remove its border and put some padding. I think 8px vertical and 12 pixel horizontal padding should be enough. I'll set the pointer cursor property and give some curve to the button edge. Use 5 pixel border radius for this. End the code with transition of background color. The CSS style will end with styling the hover effect of this button. I'll put a little dark red color to its background color property. I have removed the type button for my code to work properly, although you can simply solve it by adding the end quotations to the type. That's it, our to-do list app is ready and you can try it live. The link is in description, give it a try and share this video. Hit that like button, subscribe my channel and tell me what you want me code next. Good day, keep coding and thanks for watching Techno Space.